Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another brand new episode of the Enlightenment Podcast. I'm here joined with Sumed Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy. You can find him on YouTube at Primal Sutra. And today we're talking about how to be smart, how to be not stupid and not an idiot. And what's more than being a smart, spiritually smart. Because you could be smart in
Mm.
a lab and you're still an idiot. Going home, crying, get angry, beating your wife, drinking alcohol. No, you're doing it wrong, buddy. So the most intelligent people on earth are the people that are practicing the spiritual path. They're on the spiritual path. Why? Because the spiritual path entails you becoming better as a human being, and that's what you want, to be a better human being. And so take it away, Sumed. What do you think about this topic? And yeah, what do you think in general? Nice to see you again, as always.
Yeah, man, this is a great topic, and yeah, we were talking a little bit about spiritual intelligence, why it's so important. And one of the things that's coming up is, of course, we have something called gut instincts. Now, I don't know if AI crunches can get us towards that sixth sense. You know what I mean? And so I think that a vibe tells you how shady someone is, but I think through AI, it's just going to pull up some random spreadsheet and tell you you should trust your heart on these days specifically. Therefore, so give us some kind of a strategy or a mechanism or a tool or a technique or something to do. But the inner knowingness and the inner awareness overrides all of that stuff. So I think trust in the cosmic comedy club internally and over that very robotic. Because I think the AI is actually closer to this almost like a Satanism. That's just my perspective. I mean, we can talk about it further, but I think putting something into binary code, ones and zeros, and just being like, these aren't people, these are just a bunch of numbers. I think that's deeply satanic. I think taking away someone's humanity, flesh and blood, and this living mechanism, comparing it to um, this rigid mess that is trying to be made into something epic and thrive on this technological advancement. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's sort of a mystery, but I think yeah, you can't be dumb, especially on the spiritual path. Otherwise, you're going to get manipulated. You're going to be gullible and naive and end up somewhere that you don't want to be. Um, but yeah, that's why it's really important to be spiritually wired in.
You said the intelligence of the stomach, the gut brain. It
Mm,
also means eating the right food. Fruits, vegetables, nuts,
yeah.
seeds, grains, legumes, all of that's good. And avoiding processed foods because you have a brain in your stomach. And if you take care of
Yeah.
it, intuition, your gut feelings come from what food you put in your body, first and foremost.
Mhm.
I'll take a drastic stance here and say that particular spiritual tools make you more intelligent also. So if you want to enhance your intelligence out there, you wear spiritual beads like Rudraksha. Very
Mhm.
intelligent. They'll bump up your IQ, maybe 1 or 2 points. Don't quote me on this, I don't know. You should do some studies. But there's a reason why I wear this. Not only because it looks cool, but because it changes my energy. And that's what I like.
Did you speak about how it changes your energy?
Whew.
I could bring mine as well. I have mine right here.
Oh, yes. How does
Ooh.
it change my energy? Well, when I take it off, I feel a certain level of freedom and restrictiveness, like loose, relaxed, which is good. But the moment that I put it on, it feels like a higher authority is present. Or I don't know, put on a professional uniform and now I represent something else. It feels like something
Yeah.
is taking care of me also.
Sort of grounds you down, right? To like where you're at. Rather than this light free feeling of like, "Oh, I could do whatever." It's like, no, I
Hmm.
gotta get into this very meditative state, right? Yeah. It's priming
Yes,
that. You're right, yeah. Yeah.
absolutely. You said the right word. Grounding. It's also very grounding. And I'm glad to say this that I'm selling this on my website, shivakailash.com. There's a little promotion.
Mm.
This is the first business that I've uh, ventured into that felt like it was higher than me. It kind of everything was taken care of, and I bought these beads from the Himalayas. They came here in Canada, and now I'm shipping them out to people. So if you want to
Mm.
increase your intelligence out there and buy a spiritual tool that's probably the most powerful, one of the most powerful spiritual tools you can buy in the whole planet, this is it.
Mm.
So
Right
what do
on.
you think about Rudraksha? What do you feel when you put it on? Does it work or is it just a placebo?
You know what? I think it works for everybody's body, mind, spirit complex differently. Like for some people, it just makes them really like just inactive, or it makes certain people like really active, like full of energy. So it's like I think honestly it depends. For me, I do like it, especially when it comes down to being very meditative or contemplative. Like for certain tasks, you would do well with wearing a rudraksha rather than without. Um, it is, however, a seed. So understand that you are connecting towards nature in some way. Of course, we're always connecting with nature, but we forget indoors, right? This is made out of wood, which is a tree. This is made out of, metal, which is also from the earth's core. We forget. So we're kind of living in an illusion, but the moment you put a rudraksha on, it's going to remind you. I think that's yeah, it's really important, especially if you're following in the path of Shiva. One of his nicknames was Rudra, right, where he came down as the light to stop the fight between, Vishnu Brahma. Came in like, "Pow!" Like, I don't want any part of this. You guys can
Hmm.
keep fighting. I'm going to remain where I am. Yeah.
Do you have
Or beyond it. Yeah.
do you have any other tools or spiritual tools that you use or rely on that you would
Mm,
recommend?
not exactly. I like the pendulum sometimes when I'm trying to, but again, I just have muscle testing, so that kind of overrides that. Sometimes I'll use oracle cards, but even then, sometimes I get a download in my mind like, no, you should trust Hanuman's energy right now. I'll just be like, no cards. So I get these intuition is telling me that though the spiritual tools are important, it's important for the spiritual vessel to actually use the tools properly or to use their own tools that they already know. That so they don't need so many like 500 tools to tap into the
Yes.
zone. They just have a few. I do like tuning forks and red
Mm,
light therapy, little musical instruments and things like this too. That usually helps me to tap in, um, like singing bowl or something like this.
yes.
It's really powerful.
We were initially talking about intelligence, and if I were to pick or choose who's the most intelligent fellow on planet Earth, it would have to be this fine gentleman behind me, Sadhguru, because this man knows everything that there is to know, I would guess, about the human mechanism. And he's
Mm.
blissful, ecstatic, knows how the mind works and the body works, and he's an expert at human well being. Comparing him to somebody, some scientist that has an excellent memory, it's not really a comparison because, it's a singular.
Right.
Yeah, so human being is where it's at, human well being.
Mm.
And then comparing Sadhguru to artificial intelligence like ChatGPT, well, it's no comparison at all because there really isn't any intelligence in artificial intelligence. It's just memorization. Yet I use ChatGPT. It's also a fantastic tool. Wow, it's so good. And all of you should use it, especially when crafting emails and doing things that are important, communicating with others. It's very valuable. So, what do you think about
Yeah,
AI and all this?
yeah, man. So again, I think it's deeply powerful that an individual can have their own spiritual experience and have it be completely subjective, like so unique, so powerful, so transcendent, usually in somewhere connecting to nature, like Bodhi trees or like a fig tree or something like that. There's always like some kind of a nature element to it. But I think if we were to put a robot, right, like some kind of an AI mechanism underneath the Bodhi tree, it wouldn't awaken. It would just try to figure out, what am I doing here? What are the logistics of this location? Should I go inwards now? Like, it would be a complete mess. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that flexibility over formulas is really something that's coming up. Like being able to remain adaptable and weavable and not just be in this constant, like certainty all the time. Because this world is full of ambiguity and paradox and strange mysteries. So I think as a human intelligence, we should be able to remain there in the paradox and not get washed into it. I think with AI, it refuses to be, you know, um, it wants to be summed up, in neat
Mm-hmm.
equations rather than actual momentary, like, what can I do to weave out of this, use my tantra out of this moment? Yeah, so I think that finding connection beyond just Wi-Fi, finding connection outside just these digital, gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that show called Inspector Gadget back in the day? You
Yeah.
could just say, so, "Oh, go gadget," like, uh, broom, and it would come out of his arm or whatever. So we could technically activate our own spiritual powers like that, but we choose not to.
Mm.
Whatever we focus on grows. I could say activate third eye, and just live my day. But at least it's a command. You are the commander of your consciousness. So you might as well speak to your body that way too, and your mind, and your spirit.
I'm looking forward to the day that artificial intelligence takes over robots and starts to control robots so that my dishes can be cleaned and my laundry can be done and my house can be vacuumed.
Yeah. About
And
Butler, yeah.
yes, exactly. Digital butler. That would be great. That will be great.
What would you name him?
Oh, something to do with Hinduism like Shiva or probably Shiva.
Yeah,
It's very simple.
write it. Yeah. Yeah.
But for a long time, I was afraid and nervous, like, oh, AI is getting smarter, and people are talking about it's maybe taking over the world. And I heard Sadhguru talking about it. And Sadhguru
Mm.
said that he can't wait until this happens because the amount of transformative effects this is gonna have, it's gonna make everybody's life so much easier. You can do whatever you like, and it'll make you have more time to do things that you like art
Yeah.
and music. So the menial
Right.
jobs like cleaning the toilets will all be taken care of, and that's very needed. Human beings don't need to do that.
Mm. I think Ty Lopez, I recently saw, I was just scrolling through Facebook. I'm never on Facebook. He said something like, just leave your job, you don't even need to work. Like, just, the entrepreneurs are only going to make it," or whatever he said. He said some status like that. And then I got thinking about this, man, and I was like, huh, yeah, actually, like, jobs are going to be really, like, underrated in the future, like menial 9 to 5s or this kind of structure. Is because the planet right now, if you look at the Schumann resonance, there's like these frequencies that rise on the planet. They're starting to spike nowadays. Oof. So, man, there's going to be so many changes in the future, and I can't wait as well to just like see what it entails. I think when the mind sees it formulate, then we can actually do something with it. Right now, it's just this weird thing in our minds. Um, yeah, I think Sadhguru would definitely win against an AI chatbot. Sure. Just the way that his own life experience has given him so much, and then that chatbot has just been created by engineers. Think about it. Um, Not consciousness or sentient consciousness, we could in that way. So yeah, I think if you were to channel as well, you would need a high spiritual intelligence. Or if you were to do any kind of extrasensory perception things or tap into any siddhis or siddhas at all, like you would have to have a very, very high spiritual intelligence. It can't be manipulated. It's just you got to go through the process.
Yeah. I'm interested that you said the Schumann resonance because I remember looking this up many years ago and I forgot about it. So you just reminded
Mm,
me. And
yeah.
it's true, it's a factual thing. It's, a meter says it, so it must be true. So the meter is going up and the frequency of the planet is going up. And as human beings change, also that impacts it. I'm sure there's lots of factors, like aliens or
Yeah,
yeah,
I think we have to adapt with it too, right? The Schumann resonance. Otherwise, it's going to fuck us up. Why so many people on the planet right now are getting weird sickness. Like I even had it, man. I was like, what the? I didn't weave with it as I normally do. But it's like I think adaptability, honestly, is spiritual intelligence, like to a very powerful level. Just think about this: if you're only going to the gym, you're only doing push activities. If you're doing gym and a little bit of yoga, let's say stretching, you're doing push activities, but there's also that pull, that relaxation, right? Some more flexibility. And a lot of people's minds nowadays, they're just like, forget everything, just lock in, just go to the gym. I don't think that's the answer completely because your mind is going to be very rigid and very like dominant. At the same time, you're not going to have that fluidity, that experience to solve problems and issues that come your way and be weavable and adaptable. So yoga is absolutely key. And if you are interested, just reach out. There's lots of like minds like us. Shiva has a Discord community. I have a Telegram community. Just, reach out to us.
yeah. In the future, we should do something, maybe a Discord group call or some kind of
Yeah.
interactive. But yeah, that's all I have to say. If you have any closing words, let us know what you got going on.
Mm. How much, man? The last channeling was really interesting. I had tapped into the peacock angel, Malik Taoist, and I read a lot of stuff like he is Satan or like he is this evil being or creature. And the Yazidis have been like genocided for centuries, or been genocided because of that, or discriminated because of that, because they prayed to somebody else. Um, the storyline, and I thought about this and I really tapped into this energy. I was terrified before going in. Afterwards, I felt this deep stillness and peace, almost like I've been shown something that can actually help humanity, like, or something like this. And so it wasn't a dark energy that I got from that being. It was a very powerful, high vibrational energy that I pulled from that. And I don't think people understand it. So they'll put it in a box and just be like, that's Lucifer or whatever. Or comparing two stories to other stories. I think a lot of spiritual people do this. You take one story and then they go, yes, this also applies to Christianity and this also reflects in Islam. They create this long like conspiracy theory or something, and they put it all together. Now, as I've been reading into this stuff, I did find a lot of overlap. But now it's like really exciting because now we're unfolding this as we should as we go to Sedona, Arizona this year,
Mm.
which is a vortex over there. Should be exciting. So yeah, excited for that. Yeah, man, thank you for inviting me once again.
Thank you very much.
Spiritualmasterychallenge.com for those interested. Love.
Take it.